Corvette Talks with Scags. I'm your host, Scags. Today I'm going to talk about one of my Corvettes, my 1970 Donnybrook Green with black interior Corvette Coupe. I bought this car to celebrate the birth of my son Donnie in April of 2006. It was a one-owner vehicle, a one-family-owned vehicle with 52,000 miles on it. It's currently got 65,000 miles on it, and I will tell you that they've been trouble-free miles, good quality vehicle, and it really hasn't given me any problems. I would call this car a driver quality car, meaning that it's not a show car, but what it is a nice original car that can be driven as is and enjoyed, and maybe have some appreciation over the years. That being said, this is a C3, meaning that it's a era number 3 Corvette, which had a production run from 1968 to 1982. This being a subset of that era, considered the chrome bumper Corvettes, which was 1968 to 1972. Chrome bumper because obviously it's got a chrome bumper in the rear and a chrome bumper in the front. Starting in 1973, Corvettes had a urethane front bumper, and then in 74 there was a urethane bumper in the rear as well. The great thing about C3 Corvettes is that you get the classic car, classic vet experience without the classic vet price. C1 Corvettes, which were 1953 to 1962, considered straight axle Corvettes, tend to be very cost prohibitive. 63 Corvettes to 67 mid-year Corvettes are even more cost prohibitive. But for a reasonable price, you could get yourself into a chrome bumper C3 Corvette. You get the classic vet experience without the price. Depending on motor and options, these could be quite affordable. Vets have always been special. They were special to their owners back in 1953, and they're going to be special to their owners tomorrow. So it's not too difficult to find one with low miles and low owners. The quality really speaks for itself. This car is nearly 50 years old, and as you can see, it's still pretty much intact. You can hear the way the doors close. These are just good quality vehicles. Being GM and General Motors Halo vehicle, you could always pretty much rely on the fact that they were quality made. This Corvette, my Corvette here, is what's considered a numbers matching Corvette. Now, numbers matching means a lot of different things to a lot of Corvette enthusiasts. To me, it means that this car has the original motor, the original transmission, and the original rear end. It also means that the paint and interior are correct, meaning that this car came from the factory in green with a black interior, and it came from the factory with this motor and transmission. For a financial return, if you're looking for a financial return on your C3 purchase, I would tell you that to make sure that it's a numbers matching vehicle. To me, it's not really that big of a deal. I've owned about a half dozen of these C3 Corvettes, and most of them had the wrong motors and the wrong paint. It didn't lessen the ownership experience for me, but again, if you're looking for a financial return, I would tell you to buy numbers matching. Rust, vets do rust. The body, as we all know, is fiberglass, but the other components are metal. As you can see, the engine compartment has some rust. Chassis components rust. Bumpers rust, suspension components rust, windshield surrounds rust. If you're considering a C3 purchase, I would check out all these areas. A soft spot on these cars are the windshield surrounds. As you can see, mine's a little funky. There's some glue, there's some rust. Chassis areas on these vehicles that tend to rust. The kick up over here on the chassis tends to rust. The rails sometimes rust. The exhaust systems rust. As you can see, mine is practically ready to fall out of the vehicle. To me, it's really not that big of a deal, but if you're considering a C3 purchase, and again, if you're thinking about financial return, check these areas out. It could be something that you want to consider. Lacquer paint. Old Corvettes were painted with lacquer paint, and lacquer paint goes funky over the years. It spider webs, it cracks, it orange peels, it falls off, and as you can see, mine's got all those things. If I ever had it painted, starting in the 80s, Corvettes were painted with a base coat, clear coat paint job, which is a more modern technology. I would probably do that if I ever got the vet painted, but I like it just the way it is. Interiors, vets have great quality interiors. The materials were great back then, and they're great now. If you look in the interior, and you can see that there's some snow in there. We are in the Northeast. the materials were great back then, and they're great today. You could see that the interior is still in very good condition. You could see that the carpet wears out a little there from sliding the T-tops back over the years, but otherwise you got the original floor mats, you got a lot of original stuff in there, and really this Corvette has got some good quality materials, just like all Corvettes. The gauges all still work with the exception of the clock. I can't really seem to figure that one out. The stereo works as well. As you can see, the gauges are nice and clear. Again, it's a testament to the quality of these particular cars. The engine compartment you can see here is got some patina. We'll throw that word out there, but it is nice and original. It's got some things that collectors like: the original chrome ignition shielding, the chrome air cleaner, some chrome hose clamps, which is a nifty little thing. It's got some original decals all around. As you can see, they're worn, but again, keeping with the theme of the car, a driver quality car, to me this engine compartment is just fine. Options. Corvettes are loaded with cool options, and this car was no different. This car has pop-up headlights. This car has pop-up windshield wiper, a separate door that opens up where the windshield wipers pop out. This car has T-tops, obviously. This car has got a removable back window. The removable back window has got a shelf where you put the window. It's got T-top bags that slide behind there. It's got a fiber optic light monitoring system, which is a nifty thing. If you come in here, you can see that on the dash there, the fiber optic light monitoring system is a system where if you had a light bulb out, it would light up on your fiber optic light monitoring system, and you could replace the bulb. So all this stuff was neat back then, and it's neat today. You could be assured that when you get a Corvette, you're going to have innovation galore, and obviously 50 years ago it was no different. Documentation. I was fortunate enough to have the original owner's manual to this car when I purchased it, and it's very fun to look back and read a 50-year-old owner's manual. If documentation is your thing, then you might want to get a car, if you're considering a purchase, with receipts or documents, meaning some owner's manuals or judging sheets or tank sheets. A tank sheet was a sheet that went on the gas tank that listed the options and other information about the car. It was slapped right on the gas tank during the production. This car actually still has a tank sheet on it. If documentation is your thing and it'll add to the ownership experience for you, then make sure you take that in consideration if you're considering purchasing a C3. I would say that Corvettes are really all about the driving experience. Let's face it, they look terrific, they're fun to look at, they're fun to sit in, but the bottom line is you want to drive these things. And I will tell you that C3 Corvettes are no exception to the driving experience. I like everything about it. I like starting it up. Yes, it stinks of gas. Yes, when I drive it, it gets hot and it smells like burning oil. Yes, it leaks in my garage, but the driving experience is fantastic. This car has four-wheel independent suspension, four-wheel disc brakes, a full frame, so you are guaranteed that this car is going to perform well, and it keeps up with modern traffic. 300 horsepower and 380 foot-pound of torque don't sound like a lot by today's standards, but trust me, it's more than enough. We live in rural Massachusetts, and there's more than enough opportunity to get a great driving experience out of these cars, and let's face it, that's what it's all about. That's it for today. There's so much to talk about with C3 Corvettes that I could probably do another show. If you enjoyed this one, let me know. Give me some comments. Tell me what I did right. Tell me what I did wrong. And till then,